Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who has been rumored to be running for months, is now set to officially announce that he is running for president. CNN has learned that the Florida governor is going to make the announcement tonight during an interview with Elon Musk on Twitter. His wife, Casey DeSantis, the First Lady of Florida, released this teaser video of him getting ready to walk out on a stage as a dramatic voiceover speaks in the background.
Do I have the courage? Is it worth the sacrifice? America has been worth it every single time.
DeSantis has widely been seen as former President Trump's leading challenger for the Republican nomination. But there are big questions about what this launch will look like because his poll numbers have been slipping after some shaky performances leading up to this launch. Trump has been relentlessly attacking him for months now.
And we're now learning that Trump and his allies have been preparing for this moment with a coordinated plan to try to upend DeSantis' campaign launch. A source tells CNN it includes a social media blitz and Trump surrogates appearing in Miami, where DeSantis is set to begin meeting with donors today. So let's begin this hour with Kristen Holmes, who joins us now. You cover all things Trump world. What is this anti-DeSantis blitz going to look like?
Good morning, Poppy. Well, the social media blitz is actually very interesting. I talked to a number of advisors. They have been courting some of the biggest names in conservative new and social media since last year. That means bringing them down to Mar-a-Lago, letting them fly on the plane with the former president, trying to get them to give the former president their backing. And we're likely going to see that network at play today. Now, we are being told by advisors they're going to hit DeSantis on a number of different policy topics. That's going to include his reforming entitlement programs, his past views on trade policy, on China, his COVID-19 response when he was the governor of Florida. Now, in addition to this social media blitz, we are also told it's going to include a rollout of videos, including one of Trump directly addressing the camera and DeSantis's candidacy. Even with those polls, Poppy, that Caitlin just mentioned, even though the fact that Trump is leading, there is not a single advisor that I have spoken to who believes that this is over or isn't concerned about it. They believe he might get a boost in the polls after this announcement, and they do believe that DeSantis is Trump's biggest competitor. So they are taking this incredibly seriously, Poppy.
It's so interesting. 'Cause it's such a stark difference to how Trump almost welcomed Tim Scott into this race earlier this week. Is there anyone in Trump world that's worried that all these sustained attacks on DeSantis could actually not help Trump?
I would say that there are no advisors in Trump world who believe that these sustained attacks on DeSantis are going to hurt Trump in any way. But I will tell you that I've spoken to a number of people outside of his orbit, Republican operatives, people who even support the former president, who do not want him to continue attacking DeSantis. They want to be able to say that DeSantis will run in 2028 when Trump is done, and that that's his time to run. And it's harder for them to say that and get behind that if the former president is constantly attacking Ron DeSantis.
Kristen, thanks for all the reporting.
Yeah, a lot of questions about what that's going to look like. So for more on this, let's bring in Sarah Fisher, CNN's media analyst and media reporter at Axios, CNN correspondent Donnie O'Sullivan, and Ben Smith, who is the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Semaphore. Donnie, what do you make of the fact that this is how that DeSantis is choosing to launch his campaign in this moment with Elon Musk?
Well, it's Donald Trump's old turf, right? I mean, he used Twitter so effectively. Look, I mean, I think Musk has tried to position this platform as a bastion of free speech, unless, of course, you're people in Turkey tweeting things that the government doesn't like up to the election, or a journalist who's tweeting about Elon Musk's jet. But all that, to one side, bastion of free speech. So I think he's very much DeSantis, who we know loves this, engaging in the culture wars. He's going to the home of it today. I got to say, though, I cannot see Trump resisting coming back on the platform today. The last time he tweeted was January 8, 2021. Yeah. I can't see Trump giving up that
And
space.
that legal restraint that held Trump on Truth Social is over now. So he can, isn't it?
I think it's unclear.
It's still not totally clear what the shareholders would make of that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see. Your headline is amazing this morning, Sarah.
Thank you.
Musk moves in on Murdoch, meaning Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, I mean, a couple years ago, Fox is where you would expect to see someone like Ron DeSantis trying to kick off his campaign. The fact that he's going to Twitter, it also suggests and caps off a week of a lot of conservative movement to Twitter. So it's really notable. You had Tucker Carlson saying that he's moving his Fox primetime show to Twitter. Yesterday, I reported that the Daily Wire, which is a huge conservative entertainment media company, is moving its podcasts over to Twitter. You're going to start to see a lot more momentum flock there from conservatives, and that used to be Fox's territory. If you're Rupert Murdoch, this is a scary time.
I think it's absolutely right. Sarah and I had exactly the same take, which could either means we're both deluded or yeah. I think it's a moment when all media is splintering, and Fox had this incredible monopoly on the conservative space. And it's going to Twitter. I do think the question in this moment when things are just so polarized is, can Twitter hold on? If Twitter becomes the central conservative media space, which is an okay business, it's not a business like being a social platform. Can they hold on to anything else? Can they remain a sort of central convening space for journalists, entertainers, athletes? I think that's a totally open question.
Yeah, it is a question, but he's not just going on Twitter. He's expected to go and do an interview with Fox News right after this. So he does have that two-pronged approach.
They're second.
Yeah, they are second. Speaking of diluted, though, one of his PACs said they believe, because he's launching this with Elon Musk, it's one of the most out-of-touch campaign launches in modern history.
But the thing is, Ron DeSantis kind of wants it to be that way. He has been sending a signal all along throughout his campaign that he can go around the mainstream media. That is them. They are the enemy. I don't work with them and I don't play ball. Of course, we know that's not true. He still needs to rely on Fox News and other mainstream outlets. But in choosing to start on Twitter and having the press, us, talk about it, he is sending a signal to his supporters, look, I'm the person that's not dealing with that mainstream media like others are.
Yeah, I would say, the problem is here, he sort of took Donald Trump's attacks on the media sort of literally rather than seriously. Donald Trump attacks the media, and as you know better than any other single person on the planet, does it on our platforms in a way that is intended to reach the audience of this media. DeSantis looks at Trump, says, oh, he hates the media, he doesn't deal with the media. Nobody deals with the media more than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is centrally a media character whose entire style is to create engagement with us. And DeSantis is doing this other thing, which is almost like listening too closely to Trump and taking it totally literally and not talking to the media. I think that's a sort of a strange move, and particularly if you look at the demographics of the Iowa caucuses where where this is actually gonna happen. I was just looking at the entrance polls in 2016. I think there are more people, about the same number of people over 65 as there are under 45. So I'm not sure it's a social Twitter audience.
But within the Republican conservative right-wing online space, this isn't necessarily just mainstream media, quote unquote, versus Twitter and social media. Internally within that space, Twitter is now competing with the websites like Rumble. We normally think of like it's Twitter versus Facebook versus YouTube. Now, Twitter and Rumble, which is a new video platform
that Donald Trump Jr. is on.
Exactly, has signed exclusive partnerships with a lot of influential figures on the right. Twitter is now competing for those people as well.
And worth noting, David Sachs, who's going to be the person moderating this interview tonight with Ron DeSantis on the Twitter Spaces that's being co-hosted by DeSantis and Elon Musk, is not just a DeSantis supporter, but a Rumble supporter and affiliated with them. And so I'm looking forward to 2024, to Donnie's point, seeing what the infighting is, not just between the mainstream outlets trying to grab for candidates, that's what it's always been, but these new sort of right-leaning outlets that are going to be competing for their attention.
Yeah, it's totally fascinating. And that he's a big voice in the business community, too.
Yes.
It's also interesting given DeSantis versus Disney.
We're shocked by that.
He defended how DeSantis handled COVID back in 2021. He was a big fan of that. And also, I think that what everyone is watching today is not just how he's launching this, but what that actually looks like and if it does help him, given he has been slipping in the polls.
I guess Fox is first on television because it's audio only on this Twitter announcement.
By the way, given Twitter under Musk has not always been able to stand up in terms of the platform has literally dropped.
That's what Caitlin was.
So hopefully the audio, hopefully the thing doesn't collapse under the pressure.
Yeah, it's not a non-zero chance.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.